Oh, what is good, guys? So welcome back. We got a bunch of brand new leaks and information about the new cosmetic update coming to Grow Garden. That is going to be live as of May 24th, which is going to be 3 days from now. Now, this is going to have a lot more than I expected, and a lot more than just basic cosmetics are going to be changed in this update. There's going to be a lot of new core functions, changes, things revolving around pets. Obviously, we'll have the cosmetics and all that. And I'll be going over all of that stuff. But in today's video, we'll be covering all of these leaks. And, I'm trying to get to 150,000 subs. So if you can help me by hitting subscribe, that would be much appreciated. Now, let's kick things off with the cosmetic update. So this will be dropped on May 24th on about 10 a.m. Eastern, I believe. According to the official Grow Garden Twitter, this update is all about, sprucing up, the garden, making it jam-packed and beautiful with all this new updates and information. So we're gonna have a bunch of new cosmetics of fountains. We already have all these teasers. I'll show you the images in a second. This is gonna make the garden look more visually appealing, as long as we're also gonna get more actual applicable things to add to the garden. So starting off with, we have the new cosmetic store. We had a leak of the cosmetic store. Now this is once again, just a leak, but it's gonna look, as you see right here, we had a leak of the cosmetic store. Now, I know it's sorry for the low quality image, but this is just a screenshot. As you see, the crates right here, which are going to be the crates that are over here, the mysterious crates that are going to contain the cosmetics. So I was earlier wanting to mention how I was wondering how, like, for me, I only have, I think, 4 of these. How if there's multiple cosmetics, how am I going to get all of them? And this is exactly how it's going to be. As you see, it does work the same as like a stock. So it's going to be restocked. And it also, if it works the same as like the eggs and stuff, there's going to be better value crates. And additionally, probably some sort of like info and shop based around this. Now, this leaked image, once again, it's just a leak, nothing guaranteed. This is cool though to see. And obviously this will be located. We have yet another screenshot to show. This image is going to be located, if I come on over to using the recall wrench, it's going to be located right over here with the refresh egg. There's going to be a refresh stock, and it's going to look something like this. As you see, there's going to be the refresh cosmetic just slapped right in the middle. He's going to be moved over there. She's going to be moved over to make way for the cosmetics. As you see, cosmetic shop stock has been reset, and we got the refresh cosmetic. So as you see, this notification being though right there, what this does tell me is it's going to be on some time base. So there's probably going to be a crate here, and then there's going to be some form of shop. And we have other images and leaks to go over on how this is going to work, but this is a new leak that we have, which is really cool. So here's what we know now. Those, obviously, the mysterious crates that we have from the Blood Moon update will be able to be open to get these cosmetics. So obviously we have these mysterious crates right here. The crate's description just says like nothing. Like, obviously the crate doesn't have a description, it just says cosmetic update. In the actual shop though, it's the lunar, in the actual shop it just says what could be inside with a question mark, and it's a high rank. So we expect obviously like rare decorations out of this. So most likely, since it is really expensive, there's going to be cooler decorations and higher value mysterious crates. Like the items, obviously we have a screenshot from them, a post they made on Twitter, which is the cosmetic update. And obviously in the cosmetic thing, you can clearly see things in the background. Like you can see fountains. There's like, obviously these look like gnomes and stuff. There's things, there's other signs. There's another cosmetic image or leak where it shows there's also like a get out sign or keep out gate. There's all sorts of really cool cosmetics that they're going to add. Now there is also what I saw and noted on before, is they had a sort of like a shop. There's sort of like a shop, as you see. So they have the new cosmetics come in. So this is as shown in this one, where you obviously can have some form of restocking it where you can talk to him. Now this crate in the image does look like it's open. So most likely this is just a decorative design, and these look like placeholders where crates were. Now these could be same with like the eggs, where you buy the eggs, but they look open. So it could mean that the crate was purchased already. But as we do see though, in the other screenshot, we have the yellow umbrella, the cooking pot, placeholders, new cosmetics. So these, obviously with the shop in the background, are going to be purchasable cosmetics, which is really cool. Now there's also a tease about an animated guarded gnomes. Imagine like, obviously the guard gnomes related before, but if like they're animated doing dances or like moving around or something, or if they're doing the dances that the devs teased about trying to set the record with. As you saw, they they posted this on Twitter where they said they wanted to set the world record for the most Roblox characters doing the monster mash, which obviously is kind of hilarious. But obviously, you know, if they have 5 million people and they plan on doing that, it's gonna actually happen. Now, there is a big question though, obviously, around if this update's gonna be free to play or pay to win. So if you've grinded shekels during the blood moon, like obviously you see I have almost 10 billion, you're set to buy crates. But the thing is though, the crates don't come in 100% of the time. But some posts on Twitter and in the leaks, but obviously the post on Twitter suggests the cosmetic key might be needed, so this isn't like Robux only. Obviously it doesn't have a pay to win vibe to it. Obviously Reddit, Twitter, in their Discord server is salty about big studios buying it and like trying to monetize it, because you can tell obviously with how Fish had a heavy cosmetic change once they were purchased, where there's cosmetics, boats, all this stuff, obviously clearly impacting their player count. You know, they're not even on the top charts anymore because they died off because the game just became too many like microtransactions. So I do hope Jandel does try to regulate that. But visually picturing like a fountain, or you know, the animated gnomes, Pepper, all this stuff is kind of cool, but obviously if it doesn't end up becoming like the main concern around the core function of the game has to be monetized. That's the main thing that I really hope they avoid, is trying to monetize most of the core functions of the game, because that's where I think that's what happened to Fish and really messed them up. So I really hope that does not obviously happen to Grow a Garden. And then obviously this just seems really cool, but like having all these decorations does really make it seem like your own garden, not just, you know, all the plants crammed in the same section that everyone else has, you know. And I am obviously I'm hyped for the laser gate style thing. Now this obviously, that's not a literal laser gate, but in their cosmetics, let me pull it up real fast. In the leaks, they did send this image right here, if I can move it over. In their leaks channel, they had this with a keep out sign. Now obviously this is just a sign, but if they added some sort of ability to keep people out of your garden, obviously with like the stealing items, I don't see that becoming a thing, but that is a cool thing to consider, like the OG laser gates to tycoons and all that. That would be really cool, but obviously most likely not. But the garden themed with like flowers and all this stuff, I don't really see a downside to this. But the only thing though is obviously if your garden is chaotic and full of all this stuff, this is going to make it a big issue, because obviously, you know, you can't show off these cool cosmetics without more space. And that goes exactly into the next leak, which is going to be the garden expansion. More space, more ways to flex, obviously. Now let's see the main game changer that Jandel did kind of tweet about, where he showed this right here, the Grow Garden section. So obviously, as you see, there is, if I can zoom in a bit on it, never mind, you can't. Okay, as you can see right about there's a subsection. So there's the main garden palette, and then there's a subsection right there, thus showing that there's going to be some form of expansion. Obviously not like a third plot or further, but it's going to be expanded out, which is cool. So it could be like from here to around there, which obviously is better than not having an expansion. Now obviously the community loves the idea of having this expansion. I want this, you know, make sure to leave a comment if you agree that you would like a garden expansion or not, or if you think this is unnecessary. But we also had a second leak, and this one is unreleased, where we had this image right here, which shows 100 credit expand. Now obviously, most likely, like, that's definitely a placeholder. There's no shot something that important to a core function around the game would be that cheap. Now obviously the person that we got the leak from, the tester obviously said you can expand once they said you can expand once on all sides, making like extra plots on the left, the right, the back of the garden. This solves the big issue, obviously, with the cosmetics and no space and all this stuff. But obviously, this means you can grow back, like make your garden bigger on the left and on the right. And that makes sense because look at how much extra space there is. So I could see in the future this entire space being taken up, especially if it's like your garden goes back and all that, which is really cool. But the only thing though, like, just imagine this, like you push your messy grind setup with all these rods and like hyper focused plants and all this stuff, master sprinklers, you have all these things, bloodlit crops to the back, and then you just have like you just move all of these to the back of your plot, and then you have your cool decoration at the front, right? Like that doesn't affect your garden at all in any way. You still make plenty of money and it doesn't affect it at all. And then obviously, as you can see in the image, there's plenty of space. Obviously, you know, if you're pulling out this candy blossom, you're going to be making plenty of money. But still, once again, that is a cool thing I would like, is if I didn't have like all of this jam-packed for money grinding efficiency, and it was more for like visual appeal. And yet another thing we also have is there are going to be a bunch of new quality of life things alongside with, obviously, if you were participating in the previous update when they ran the disco event, they have leaked towards a disco thing right here. As you see, disco, small chance for your fruit to turn disco. Now this obviously could be mixed into the new event with the Monster Mash thing. And I do feel like in the Monster Mash, this could obviously, same way with the last one where you could get like the chicken jockey, you could potentially get a cool free to play thing out of this, but there is a good chance that there could be a pay to win thing smacked into this. And additionally, we also had leaks towards a fixed trading system. Now, this was something I think everyone wanted, but they have a fixed trading system that they're working on, which obviously will fix all sorts of scammers and all that. So obviously there are a ton of issues around scammers and trading and trade hacks and all this stuff. This would completely resolve that entire issue. But we also, once for the last leak, we had a quality of life thing, which is going to be this harvest as a new tool, which is obviously, as you see, harvest all fruits from this chosen plant. And you can buy this 30 million. It is going to be the most expensive tool, 5 uses, and you could harvest all this. Now, I think if like I wanted to harvest all of the mangoes on my mango trees, that takes at least 3 or more inventory slots. So I wonder how that would work out. But with all that being said, that is all the leaks we have. Now make sure if you do have an opinion on this, make sure you leave a comment. And anyways, I'll see you on the next one.